Recording.
All right, good morning, and welcome to the first and only presidential debate. The date is October 19th, 2016. Our candidates are Democratic Cameron Elliott, Republican Brandon Fuller, and Independent Ben Aldridge. Let's begin.
Okay, and the first question is, police shootings against African Americans have been on the rise in recent years and have contributed to the rise of tension between police officers and African Americans who have turned to violent riots. How do you plan to lessen this tension and create a safer environment for both of these groups?
Well, there's a lot of people being killed on both sides. We've seen police officers being shot in Dallas. We've seen shootings of unarmed black men here in El Cajon and all over the nation. There are three big things I really want to do to solve this. Number one is, first and foremost, body cameras. It's not a bad thing for the police, it's actually good, because it, one, holds them accountable, and two, it provides evidence that they were or were not innocent. Most police officers totally support body cameras. The Baltimore police had them for a year, and then when they got them taken away because of the bill sunset, they were asking for them back. The second thing we need to do is, when young black men are shot by the police, it needs to be prosecuted not by a local prosecutor, but by a federal prosecutor, because local prosecutors have a conflict of interest with the local PD.
All right,
they can't be trusted.
Move on. I'm sorry. Brandon.
I agree with Cameron on the body camera issue. I definitely think that being held accountable with body cameras is going to increase integrity in policemen. I also think that increasing community relations between the community and police is very important. You can do things like, maybe a community carnival where, police and then everyone else is invited, and, it forms connections, and I think maybe positive ads on TV showing, the daily grind that policemen go through and how they risk their lives to protect the community will show people that, they actually need these guys, and it'll just create positive connections on both sides.
Okay.
I agree with both Cameron and Brandon with what they said, but I also believe that the main problem here is that there are police officers that do not know how to handle certain situations, and I believe that we need to increase the system to get into the police academy and become a policeman, because right now it only takes 3 months to become a policeman, and I think that we need to extend that as well as increase relations with the community so that people don't feel like they're being attacked and everyone can be one.
Thank you. Okay, so our next question has to do with the minimum wage. Please give your opinion on the minimum wage pricing. Do you believe the minimum wage is meant to be a starting position to gain experience, or something that one should be able to live off of? Brandon. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'm running for president. I'm not running for governor. I think it's a state decision, not a federal decision. I also think, no, I don't think minimum wage should be increased. And if I were a governor, I would not raise it, because yes, it is supposed to be a starting position. If you raise it raises prices for everything else. If you're paying somebody more, you have to raise your own prices. You're not going to be making as much profit. So, and if you want to make more money, go out and apply yourself, get an education. There's aid all over the place. There's things you can do. I don't think that working at McDonald's, you should be making $15 an hour when, it was meant to be a starting job for college students and people that are trying to, get back on their feet and get some money. It's not supposed to be a lifetime job, so no.
Thank you, Ben.
I don't think that the minimum wage should be raised, and the reason I don't think that is because I believe it is another small change that is going to perpetuate our debt-based economy into the plummet and the doom of our debt. I don't think that it will help. I don't think that a minimum wage job should be a job that you survive off of. I think it should be something that you maybe go through during school, college, high school, whatever you're doing, but I don't think that it should be raised. I think that will hurt the economy.
Okay. Next.
I absolutely disagree with both of these candidates. The minimum wage should absolutely be raised. There are many people that are not young in college or high school students that are working for minimum wage. The fact is that there are many people that are in low-level service jobs or laborers, and we need them in the economy. They're the working class people that let our economy run. The idea that if you raise the minimum wage, that prices would go up is totally false. Many economists disagree with that. The true fact is that the top 1% of people want to scare you into believing that if you raise prices, or if you raise the minimum wage, that prices will go up. It's not true. We're living in a time where the wealth disparity between the richest of the rich and the middle class is absolutely ridiculous. If you raise the minimum wage gradually, it would have a beneficial effect for the working class and middle class people.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna have to stop you.
they
I'm
are
sorry.
the people that have been thrown in the dirt.
You're the reason
would
the McPick
anyone-
2 for 2 is now $5.
Whoa.
Okay, 30-second rebuttal, anybody?
Yes, that McDonald's, right? McPick 2 for 2, it's now $5. What is that? That's because of you. The minimum wage increased, you pay more for everything else. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Wait, do you want to give him a chance to respond?
Would you like a 30-second rebuttal?
Just-
Would you like to have a 30-second rebuttal?
I honestly don't know what the McPick 2 has to do with anything.
You're gonna vote for this guy?
Some people don't eat at McDonald's. I'm sorry to say, not everyone likes
It's a
McDonald's.
deal.
I'm sorry for that.
If McDonald's raises their prices, then consumers will just go somewhere else.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
The next question has to do with the Syrian refugee crisis. The Syrian refugee crisis is one of the worst humanitarian disasters in human history happening today. What is your plan to ensure the refugees find a home in America while maintaining economic and social order and stability?
Ben, you can go first.
1 minute, excuse me.
I believe that as a nation, we should accept Syrian refugees, but I also support a strong vetting program and a strong process that will thoroughly check the background of each refugee coming into the nation. But the thing is that the people who are doing these attacks and having these terrorist attacks, blowing up stuff here in America, they're coming in as refugees without anything in their background. So what we need to do is we need to have an even more thorough vetting process where we kind of give them a test run of maybe 2 years in the nation, something like that, and then we allow them to become a citizen.
Thank you. Cameron?
Well, most of the attacks that have been committed on American soil, the man in Florida was a citizen who was born in the United States. The man and wife in San Bernardino were born in the United States. We have no issue with our vetting process right now. People think it's really weak. It's completely false. Europe has been accepting way more refugees than the United States has. We need to do our part and help them out. Less than 1% of the refugees from Syria are even referred to the United States to be accepted. And after they are referred, they go through 26 different agencies to be vetted. There's no reason to add more vetting. And if we feel that we don't know enough about you, we don't accept you. We've hardly accepted any refugees compared to any other Western nation. That's all I have to say about that for now. We'll talk about terrorism in a minute.
I'm on Ben's side. I think that, yes, we need to do our part. However, you see what's happened in Europe, and you see all the crimes been committed. There's been, murders actually from the refugees, and I think that maybe the vetting process increase, thorough background check. It's hard, but it has to happen. Also, I think there needs to be programs put in place to ease the transition of Syrian refugees into the United States, because how hard is that? You don't know the language, you don't know no geography, you don't know what's happening pretty much. You have no clue. And I think that the creation of some agencies that can help ease the transition between the immigrants would definitely it would increase the immigrants' pride in the country, and it would lead to less crime from them because they would not be so angry.
Okay, and the next question is, the poll voters are currently divided on how the government should provide healthcare and what type of plan to use. What type of healthcare system will you propose if you become president? And Cameron, you can go first.
Well, our last president implemented Obamacare, and that system extended healthcare to 15 million more people. The uninsured rate is now, the insured rate is now 90%. So we have more people insured than ever in the history of this nation. But other Western nations are doing better than us, and prices have increased as a result of Obamacare. So it's a pretty good system that has extended healthcare to more people, but it does have its flaws. So what I would do to fix this is move towards a single payer system so that the government can negotiate prices and not let pharmaceutical company CEOs raise the price of their EpiPens by 300%, or Martin Shkreli raised the price of his AIDS drug by 6,000%. It's absolutely ridiculous. Americans pay more for healthcare than any other nation, but we don't get as much out of it as they do. So we have to move towards a single payer system. We're the only nation in any Western democracy to not have universal healthcare, and that's just ridiculous
Okay, thank you.
for us being the
I'm gonna have to
richest
stop you
nation
there.
in the world.
Brandon, you're next.
Yes, I disagree with Cameron. A single payer health system would greatly reduce the quality of care that you're receiving. It would also give you less. What's the word? You would receive less priority in healthcare because so many people are receiving it, and the quality, like, there's no incentive for hospitals to really be prestigious because everyone's getting the same amount of money. They're all receiving the same funds, and so quality would greatly decrease. I think one of the pride that something that Americans take great pride in is the quality of our healthcare, and I think that other countries, maybe yes, the healthcare is more widespread. However, when people are sick and they need help, 90% of the time they come to America because our healthcare is so efficient and so good.
So what type of healthcare are you proposing? Not single payer, but what would you propose?
I mean, Obamacare honestly right now is doing pretty well. It extended to a lot of people. Yes, they increased the debt, but I have other ways I can